Ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, non-binary pals, and the technicolor rainbow in between, this is Modular Media Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Chris the Boingo, the writer, the Gaston, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner in this endeavor.
The Vacuuminator, reminding you that now that the world is finally starting to open back up again, as soon as you have the ability to, go and support your local independent promotion.
Support your local independent anything. That's always a good idea. Comic book shop, support it. Game store, support it. Bands, support them. Wrestlers, love them.
Oh, yeah. Unless they're like weird sex perverts, but
Yeah, I mean, they're not wrestlers.
that hasn't been a problem for a little while.
Yeah, but then they're not wrestlers, they're assholes.
True.
True. Based. Socialist pills. How are you doing?
Is there a color pill for socialism?
I mean, it should be red. Get
How
it?
about yellow? Isn't that what the hammer and sickle on that flag is?
No, actually, it's weird. It's 'cause some edgy
We're already way off track.
Yeah. No, some edgy leftists have tried to retake it, and it's like in those circles that it has been. You have heard the Matrix trans theory, right?
I mean, I think I know what you're talking about, but I also
The Matrix
don't know
the Matrix is a huge metaphor for the trans experience.
Oh no, you've explained this to me. Okay.
Yeah. That's it. I've also explained the thing. It's kind of just more of a funny coincidence because the two writers and directors of The Matrix are both trans women. That someone pointed out, hey, all these people going on about the red pill, they do realize that The Matrix is a very big trans metaphor, written and directed by trans women, and that estrogen pills are often red.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just funny. Because they're all talking about, like, oh, I'm so masculine, a man, red pill.
I love how I've always kind of liked in like a cool family supporting each other kind of way the fact that one of them came out as trans, as clearly like yeah, fuck it, god damn it, one of us has got to do it kind of a thing, and then like 2 or 3 years later the other one came out.
Yep.
And it was clearly like, let me do it first, and if it goes well, then you can come in the water next.
Yeah. But also, like, they might have felt more comfortable taking a lot of the public scrutiny. You know what I'm saying? It's like taking one for the team because they probably were like, both, you know.
I mean, we made Matrix 2 and 3. How much worse can it get?
Matrix 2 and 3 are good films. I will stand by that.
But most people wouldn't agree with you, would they? You just always have that right next to you?
Yes. Genuinely, yes. I have a copy of all 4 Matrix movies and a Matrix right next to me the whole time.
I love it. You're like a fucking cartoon character. You've never seen The Matrix? Let's go.
Let's see. What else is right next to me right now that I can grab? Sweeney Todd and the 2-disc extended cut of the Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider movie.
Wow. All I have is my actual wife and a bunch of Star Wars characters.
I also stand by...
Even the robots. Even these robots are Star Wars characters. Because have you seen that movie? LOL, original joke?
Oh. No, the Ghostbuster movie, the Ghost Rider movie is actually okay. It's solid. It's not great, but it's okay. It's solid. It's not a bad movie. Let's put it that way.
Also, I hope the audio listeners have really enjoyed these last few minutes.
Oh, hell yeah.
Should we get on to some actual stuff that's on the card here tonight?
Yeah, they showed off a lot of color pictures of some Ale wrestlers toys.
No, they actually didn't show these off. All of this, except for the last thing, was leaked.
Ooh. Ooh.
So technically, we
I
shouldn't
was
be talking about this, but fuck it, everybody's seen it.
I was just thinking of the Jurassic Express thing because that's just the thing I saw. I was like, oh, Jurassic
Yeah,
Express.
let's talk about the official thing first. This came a couple days ago, which is that it was announced there is going to be a ringside exclusive 2-pack of Jurassic Express. It's the Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus figures recolored in their white and green gear. But the main takeaway a lot of people have had from this, where's Marco Stunt?
Yeah,
This is
where
called the Jurassic Express multi-pack. Where's Marco Stunt? You've got this is a nice ringside exclusive box that has them in their entrance pose. You can even get an alternate variant version of it that has Jungle Boy carrying Luchasaurus on his shoulders, which is hilariously awesome. Um, but it's $50 for this nice box and a recolor of two figures we're already getting in a regular wave. Like, this would have been a great way to just initially put out Marco Stunt. Like, get him in a regular wave later, but make the incentive to buy this be, and here's Marco Stunt finally.
I think the biggest problem with Marco's stunt, not as a person, not as a wrestler, is that he is tiny. So realistically, he has to have a whole new different buck
Mhm.
because he's so different in size compared to any other wrestler that it might be seen as cost prohibitive to make a Marco stunt toy right now.
That's fair.
I'm not saying it's a good thing.
But that's the way the figure biz works,
This
especially in wrestling where we rely on having one body for all the men and one body for all the women, typically speaking.
I just had a very dumb thought. What if they slightly modified the body for Riho to make it masculine and use that for Marco stunt?
That wouldn't work at all. Riho is regular. Riho is just a remold of Brandy.
I was thinking because Riho's actually in real life that same size, that same kind of.
Have we seen them standing next to each other before?
Are you implying that Marco Stunt and Riho are the same person?
That's what you just. No, you just said they were the same size. I was like, I would like to see a picture that proves that.
I have no idea, but I was also just making a joke of the fact that's what everybody says. Have we ever seen Clark and Superman in the same room?
Hmm. Uh, you
No.
wait till tomorrow. You wait till tomorrow. I'll get going on my DC rants.
Ooh, rants? I thought DC. Okay.
I mean, joyous and negative, positive and negative. We'll get into it. Everybody, go and listen to the No Prize podcast on what
Monday.
is it? Monday?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Monday on our YouTube channel, which is if you're watching this live, you're here. Subscribe. Look forward to it. And Tuesday, no Mondays. I usually get it out on Mondays on podcast platforms. So Monday's there too. So if you're on
But we recorded on Fridays and we're broadcasting on a Thursday. So, but space is warped and time is bendable. And I have a lot to say about the Bat family tomorrow.
ooh, Solomon Grundy. That's all I have to say. He was born on a Sunday.
Mhm.
So why don't you
but
tell us about some of these leaks in the ship?
so, um, this actually happened a couple weeks ago, and I didn't catch it, but we had an actual photograph leak of an AEW Unrivaled Collection action pack, essentially an accessory pack, which, if I can scroll up to the image where I posted it in the toy chat in the good Mr. Boingo Writers Discord server here.
And as always, a link to that in the description.
It is going to come with a barbed wire wrapped bat, Kenny Omega's barbed wire wrapped broom, a barbed wire wrapped chair, a chain that looks to be on a bendable wire, a bunch of little bundles of barbed wire in the back of the pack, and then on the top, the netting structure to make the net of barbed wire that Mox or Kenny Omega suplexed Mox into at Full Gear last year.
The unsanctioned match.
Yeah. Like, this is essentially every deathmatch tool in AEW in one accessory pack, and that's pretty awesome.
Do you think
Um,
BTE is a big enough thing to get its own pack, even if it's not like directly stated as BTE? It's just an AEW themed pack with like the BTE belt and maybe
I could see that being like a ringside exclusive thing down the line,
with maybe the stretchy things for Kazarian.
maybe.
You could just
Um,
do that with rubber bands. What am I thinking?
but like this is really interesting because when this leaked, everybody was going like, "Oh, this must be the next ringside exclusive," but it's in regular packaging. And then a few days later, it was found in the Target DCPI systems, which is basically how they track EPC codes and stuff like that. If something new is coming in, they load it into there, and that's how ordering and whatnot works.
It's the spreadsheet for the warehouse.
Mm-hmm. So this is going to be at retail. All these deathmatch ass tools are going to be at retail. Along with, because these were also in the DCPI system, a pop-up dynamite stage, which I'm assuming means it'll be papercraft, kind of like the Extreme Sets arena diorama. Um, and a set of wrestling buddies was in there as well. Are you familiar with wrestling buddies?
Are you talking about the plushies?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
adorable. I know
And,
the Bucks a while ago did like some exclusively for Wrestle Tees.
yeah, because the original designer of wrestling buddies back in the 80s is still very active in the figure collecting community. And occasionally wrestlers will just commission them like, hey, could you design me as a wrestling buddy? I might want to get that made someday.
That's cool. That's cool that he's still like, yeah, no. It's just, it's like trying to make like an old who made the old '80s toys? It's not Mattel. It's not Hasbro.
That was no, I
The big solid plastic chunks that didn't move.
that was LGN.
That was LGM. There's a nostalgia for them. So like, yeah.
Mhm. Um, and then also in there was a figure pack. We don't know if it's two pack, a free pack. We don't know what it is, but it's just listed as a free pack. And then literally today, some of these things popped up on Amazon. No pictures, just a generic Jazzwares logo, but we have pre-orders that are set to be released on December 15th for the figure pack, which is listed as AEW-1 figure pack, open brackets, unrivaled figure, close bracket, W5-1 for 1999. The releasing on the same day, AEW Unrivaled Figures Stage for 29.99, and also the same day, All Elite Wrestling Unrivaled Figures Battle Pack plus ACCY or accessory for 29.99. But considering how small that action pack is, I gotta wonder if this is something else entirely or the price is just wrong.
What I
Because I
think it
can't picture them doing that for $30. Maybe 20, but it looks like I'd if I was just looking at that and guessing a price, I'd say $15.
did the one that said action pack say like plus something? I could have swore you said something like that.
Action pack plus ACCY, which is short for accessory, generally speaking.
Action pack. Maybe that's a Mox figure.
Hmm. Maybe it's a ring that comes with the accessory pack.
Maybe, who knows? Maybe it's like maybe it's like an additional accessory pack with like a table.
Mhm. Well, I mean, I think the ring itself is like $25, so I could see them doing that and then being like doing like a bundle that's the basic ring plus the action pack, and then like maybe as a incentive to buy this version, here's stuff to do the barbed wire wrapped ropes.
Yeah. Add your own sprinklers.
I mean, 4th of July is coming up. It won't be that hard.
Yeah, no, no. Uh that one. I wonder if this is going to be like Amazon exclusives, or if this is like, hey, we're starting to put things on Amazon as well as Walmart and Ringside. This
Hmm.
is another retailer that you can buy the figures from, and this is just kind of like the initial rollout of like
Yeah.
it's a Kenny figure or something, and it's just like, hey, we'll get the rest there later.
And that would be really nice because so far it's been ringside or retail for this line. And generally speaking, that's kind of a crapshoot because I like ringside. I've generally had good dealings with them, but they tend to upcharge for the figures because they're paying extra to import the figures way faster than any other online site or a retail store would. Um, and then you're paying for your pre-order up front instead of like on most sites where it's like I am signing up to say when you get this in, I would like to automatically be charged and sent one.
Right. In some
Um,
ways, it's
uh,
like a like there's pros and cons to each style, I guess.
yeah. But I mean, like, generally speaking, right now seems to be a pretty exciting time for figures with the world opening back up and whatnot. Distribution is starting to get a little bit better. Um, I mean, I'm still having trouble finding some Hasbro things, but I was in Target today, and on the pegs, they had most of Unrivaled Series free, um, the basic AEW ring, the Mattel cage ring for WWE figures, the ambulance, and three different waves of elites. They had the current regular wave, the WrestleMania themed wave, and the latest wave of Legends, which is a Target exclusive line. They had one figure from that on the pegs, and I may or may not have snatched it up because I want all but one of the figures in that series of Legends.
Yeah. Are the rings compatible? Like, could you use a cage
They're
from an a WWE ring for a AEW ring?
they're roughly the same size. An AEW ring is like maybe a half an inch bigger.
You could probably fudge it
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I mean, like,
until they make their own.
there's
Yeah.
a ringside exclusive War Games ring that I'm sure a lot of people are going to be snatching up in the next couple weeks.
Uh, you can't do them all though. You can't complete the blood and guts match yet
All in due time. All in due time.
because we haven't had.
The only member of the Pinnacle that is in figure form so far is MJF.
Right.
Unless you count WWE figures, then you could get the revival.
And Ty Dillinger.
That's right. I keep forgetting he has an elite.
Yeah.
I've like there was a time where I almost bought it. I almost bought it and a WWE Cody Rhodes figure because I was so fucking antsy for the AEW figures. I was like I want to just buy older WWE figures to start filling out the lineup now. Oh shit, that's how much those go for on the aftermarket? Okay.
Has there ever been a Tully Blanchard WWE fig?
I'm sure there has like maybe in the old oh, what's the name? It's not Spin Masters. I forget the name, but there's a company that had the license before Mattel, and they had a line called Classic Superstars, and that's actually the wrestling line Jeremy Padawer worked on before he was doing the AEW line. He did a lot of stuff in between those two lines, but that's like why he has street cred with wrestling fans
Uh,
is because Classic Superstars is a really beloved line among collectors.
uh,
Um, I've never looked at a full checklist for it, but I would not be surprised if there's a Tully Blanchard in that line.
yeah. I was just wondering because it's not like we're probably gonna get a Tully Blanchard figure in AEW anytime soon.
I mean, now that now that Inner Circle is going to be complete with the next wave, I could see them trying to really quickly fill out Pinnacle so they could do a ringside exclusive Blood and Guts match set.
God damn, that would be like what, $200?
Those two, probably.
Because they're
But
probably
imagine the aftermarket value on it, especially if you get it signed by all, what, 10, 11 guys?
11,
Mm.
12 if you want to count the ref.
Hmm. I don't know if they'll put the. Oh, dude, that's something I haven't considered. Who the fuck is gonna ref that match?
Aubrey.
I mean, she is Jericho's favorite, so I could see it. Yeah.
Also, she tends to be like one of their big match refs.
Mm. All right. Well, that's
Either
all
that
the
or Rick Knox.
true. Just get both of them. Like, there's too many fucking people in this match. We need two refs.
I mean, that makes sense. There's two refs in there's multiple refs in War Games and NXT.
Mm-hmm.
But
Two.
I didn't watch any of Impact, but I have seen some bits and pieces and bobs. I know you watched it, so if you want to quickly run through the card, and then
So we were joking about while we were recording components this week that I was gonna have to watch the whole thing after components because it was airing semi during components.
yeah,
I did watch it after components. I did not watch the whole thing though. I skimmed through it.
okay, that's fine.
So I watched the opening match, which was Josh Alexander versus TJP versus fuck, I forgot his name. Um,
Beautiful
but
name.
bunch of old boyos for the in a freeway for the X Division Championship. Ace Austin, that's who it was. Um, but they had a really cool opening freeway for the X Division Championship. Ended in Joshua Alexander winning it off of TJP, which is pretty cool because Josh Alexander, he's been doing stuff, but like he hasn't really found a direction since the North were unceremoniously broken up when Ethan Page went over to AEW. So, it's nice to see him get a title and be able to have some more stuff going in that company instead of either disappearing into the background or being shoved into another tag team like would happen in a certain other company. Was kind of my takeaway from that.
NWA doesn't do that.
I'm talking about NWA.
New Japan doesn't do that.
Nope, they don't do that either, do they?
No. Progress doesn't do that.
Hmm. It's almost like there's only one company in the industry that doesn't have any respect for tag teams or tag team wrestlers.
Yeah, because ICW doesn't do that.
Yeah. RevPro doesn't do that.
Fest Wrestling doesn't do it.
Game Changer doesn't do it. It's weird. It's a weird thing. But then we also had one of the two big stories out of this show, which is that during an 8-man tag match, which I initially wrote off like, oh, this is going to be a big dumb clusterfuck. I probably won't even watch this. W. Morrissey, aka Big Cass from the WWE, debuted in the Impact Zone. Oh my God, what's Big Cass doing in the Impact Zone? Original joke. Well,
What's Large Emu doing in the Impact Zone? The joke is cassowary. That's the joke.
yeah.
Cassowary's a big bird. Emu's a big bird.
But no, he debuted in this match as kind of like a hired gun that Eric Young had brought in to win the match for them, and he did end up doing that. He picked up the win in this match, had a big old beatdown on the opposing team afterwards as well, and he's apparently full on signed with Impact now, and is going to have a little run,
I'm
which is pretty good.
good for him. I'm glad he's pulled himself out of the funk he was in, the bad place he was. Because he always seemed like a fine enough dude. He didn't seem like he was any kind of like asshole or anything.
Yeah, did you watch his Chris Van Vliet interview?
No, I need to.
In a really serendipitous turn of events, I was listening to it at work, on the Friday before Rebellion.
Huh.
So I went from like, I don't give a fuck about Big Cass to, oh, Big Cass seems like a really good guy. I'm glad he's doing okay, to, oh shit, Big Cass has a job. That's awesome.
I wonder if Real One, aka Enzo's, ever gonna float back into wrestling.
It might happen. They're still very close.
Yeah, and
Um,
he said he's he's considering it, but he's like also trying to do rap and stuff too.
Yeah. Um, but then we also had the Major Brothers imploding. Brian Myers versus Matt Cardona, which was a solid match, but clearly the first in a trilogy. Because it was very much about like, I'm out here. Matt Cardona was very much playing, I'm out here trying to prove a point, which is that you're a good guy. This isn't the real you. I don't want to fight you. Also, look at my awesome gear. That's probably going to be a Super 7 figure next year. Um, like the people Google search his Rebellion gear. It was really awesome. And he was all up on Instagram the next day being like, "Look at this toyetic AF gear." Um, but Brian Myers ended up picking up the win because he kayfabe injured Matt's leg, which was very cleverly put over by the announce team early on in the match, and that led into him distracting the ref and then pinning Matt, and yeah, it's a whole thing. Um, then we had a backstage segment where Tony Khan came in with Aubrey Edwards, Tony Schiavone, and Jerry Lynn, and basically said, "Hey, my guy is going after the title tonight. My girl is reffing the match." And they said, Scott D'Amore standing there with Brian Hebner, and he's like, "We already have a ref." And Tony Khan goes, "Yeah, what's his last name?" And Scott D'Amore was like, "Fine, fuck it, we'll have two refs in the match. You happy?"
God damn, that was fucking cold.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking shit.
And the best part is Hebner is standing right there. And he's just
and
like,
it's the wrong Hebner.
mm-hmm.
It's not the right Hebner. And it's just like, I'm never escaping what my brother did, am I?
No, that's his son.
Oh, it's his son? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I thought they were bros.
I'm pretty sure it's his son. I think it's his son. I'd have to do a Google. I don't know. But after that is where I started skipping around because I was starting to get tired. So I basically just went to all the promos and then the final match, which is we got Rich Swann giving a promo in the back. He basically went on a whole rant tirade saying like, "Yeah, I get it. This match is important. We haven't had something like this in a really long time. It's kind of a first time ever feel." And yeah, it's scary. Like the fate of our company could change depending on whether I win or lose. But I've carried this company on my back for the last however many months it's been since the pandemic started, and I'm not going to stop. And you know what? We're in the impact zone. I have the home field advantage. This match is for all the people in the back, and I know all the people in the back have my back. And then a little later, Don Callis basically came out and went, "You fucking idiot. You fucking rube. You mark. The people in the back don't have your back. They're waiting for you to fail so they can snatch the title out from under you. Even if you win this match, they're going to see what exactly your limit is. Because Kenny Omega is the best wrestler on the planet, and the only way you're going to beat him is by a total fluke. So everybody's going to see exactly what it takes to beat you tonight." And then a little later on in the show, we got a big old teaser for several up-and-coming Impact pay-per-views, but the big one was this year's Slammiversary, which I believe is in 3 months. I should have wrote it down here because it said on the graphic, but whatever. And the big thing with this is that just like last year with Slammiversary, they took full advantage of WWE's recent bout of house cleaning and showed a bunch of old footage of people who have been in Impact and just got released from WWE and said, like, "Who will show up? What could happen? Oh boy, I wonder." Also, we'll probably have crowds back by then, so get hype.
How many of those clips were just Samoa Joe?
There was only one clip of Samoa Joe.
Restraint. I respect that Impact Zone.
Because it was like a quick flash of 5 or 6 different people.
Yeah, I'm just as good like because everyone was like, "What the fuck, Samoa Joe?" Everybody's like excited to see what Joe might do now that he's away from the land of Connecticut.
I mean, we've talked about where we want him to go, but my ideal thing would be he shows up at Slammiversary and inserts him into like a title match. Um, Ideally the world title match, and everybody's like, "What the fuck? You can't just come back here after leaving us and act like you run the place." And he's like, "Fuck you, I'm Samoa Joe. I do what I want." And then he does lose, but then assuming he still has the title, the next week on Impact TV, Kenny and Don just come out and say like, "Here's an AEW contract. Leave us the fuck alone."
You do realize I could just go for the AEW title there, right? Oh
But why would
no.
you do that? Why would you do that when you could have the beautiful TNT title?
And look at all the meat on that guy's bones. You think that's a meal?
Uh, but then we had the main event of Kenny Omega versus Rich Swann in a title versus title match. Um, so obviously, Impact is very limited right now in what they can do due to being a closed set, and it's still being during the pandemic. We're starting to come out of it now. We're sort of on the crest. We're almost out of the woods, people, but still can't have crowds back. So that is a bit limiting. That being said, they put
What fell?
Anakin.
No, you were supposed to be the chosen one.
You fucking failure. But that being said, they still put on the best damn title match they could have, in my opinion.
That's good.
Because, as we discussed a couple weeks ago, Mauro frickin' Ranello was there on commentary. You had Tony Khan, Tony Schiavone, and Jerry Lynn at ringside. Scott D'Amore coming out from the back to watch. Like, they put this over as, like, Thanos just entered Wakanda.
Damn, that's good. That's good.
Mhm.
Too bad it couldn't have been Ranello and Shivani both.
Mhm.
Oh man, imagine that combo.
But like
Imagine that
just Ranello,
combo.
just Ranello alone was enough to get me hype because like as much as I've tried to pay attention to Impact, I still don't give that much of a fuck about Rich Swann. He's still just some guy to me. But Mauro Ranello, that beautiful, amazing man who I haven't heard in almost 2 years, put him over like the last line of defense. Like this guy is our one and only hope against the forces of darkness, and we are going to get behind him with all of our souls because Kenny Omega may be the best wrestler of this generation, but by God, is he a fucking bastard right now, and we don't want him getting this belt.
Like Impact is the last of the flood zones. Like Impact falls, everything else is just gonna fall behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Because we already
Which
know
is
Kenny can get the title in Japan. He can just he's capable of doing it. He's gotten it before. It's a
I mean,
bygone.
the only thing that could stop him is Kota Ibushi, and Kota Ibushi doesn't have that belt right now.
Right. Oh my god, they took the belt off of him to set up for this.
Yeah, like he's gonna go in. I guarantee you, as soon as the world opens back up, he's gonna fly over to Japan, kick the shit out of Will Ospreay, take the belt from him, and then fly back here. And on his way to Jacksonville, just walk into NWA and trip over Nick Aldis.
Oh
I
man.
guarantee it. But this match was really damn good. There was a lot of really good character work. You had Willie Mack and it wasn't Sammy Callahan, but it was one other guy from Impact coming out to support Rich Swann at the whole time, just cheering him on so hard. Very, very classic kind of graps to open it up. and then they get on the outside, and Rich Swann tries to go for a fall away slam onto the apron and screws it up and ends up planting himself on his head. And they put over, oh, he had an almost career ending spine injury last year. He just compressed his spine. Oh no. Oh fuck. And so for the rest of the match, Kenny Omega V triggers and slaps the shit out of that man's neck.
Damn.
To the point of where they haven't commented on whether it was shoot or kayfabe yet. I hope it was kayfabe, but they made it look like shoot. Rich Swann passes out in the ring, and at one point is just leaning into the ropes as Willie Mack is screaming in his face to wake up, and he's drooling onto the ropes and Willie Mack, and Kenny Omega just picks him up, hits the one-winged angel, and Kenny Omega is your new Impact Wrestling TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Kenny Four Belts has arrived.
I don't know what it is with AAA. Just let him wear the belt all the time. Just let him do it.
Mm-hmm.
Do they only have the one belt? Because every other company has like 3 belts.
I don't know much about AAA. But Kenny now has the AEW World Championship. He has the AAA Mega Championship. And because they neglected to retire it in time for this match, he has both the TNA and Impact World Heavyweight Championship belts.
Know what I wouldn't mind seeing? That someone from Impact tries to go for the TNA title first. Because that's the spirit of Impact. That's the heart. That's the legacy.
Yeah.
You know?
Also, real quick, I forgot to mention, there's a great moment in this match when Rich Swann is starting to like get dazed and almost pass out. Kenny Omega goes to hit him with a chair. Aubrey grabs it out of his hands. And he's like, what the fuck? I thought you were on my side. And she's like, I may be in the same company as you, but I believe in fair fights, motherfucker.
We're here to make sure you don't make AEW look bad, asshole.
Yeah. But no, that was the match, and I thought it was a really good match. It'll probably not be remembered too well just for the simple fact of its pandemic era.
Yeah.
But man, they threw everything but the kitchen sink at this match and made it work. And the whole pay-per-view, which was a pretty solid pay-per-view by all accounts, looked better for it.
I think the weird thing about this is like for an AEW fan, this is like, oh, this is a sweet ass pay per view because like the guy we've been following won. But if you're only an Impact fan, this probably goes down a letter grade for you because it's like, yeah, this guy who showed up like a few months ago has won the belt that I don't care about. It's not any of the stories I've been following.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then again, who's only watching Impact?
People who don't like the Bucks but want to still watch wrestling and can't stand WWE.
Jim Cornette watches Impact?
Probably not. He hate searches his own name on Twitter. That's his entertainment for the day. And he watches Smoky Mountain Wrestling, goes like, those were the good old days.
Jim Cornette knows only the links to news stories that people send him on Twitter. That's how he gets information about current wrestling, is people go, you should bitch about this on your podcast. And he's like, you're goddamn right, motherfucker!
God, fuck that fucking Jim Cornette ass fucking impression. Fuck you. Fuck that shit. Fucking hell. Speaking of shit... Oh, you got a point to make first?
No, let's go ahead and do this because this is kind of AEW related, and then we can flash to this other thing I wanted to talk about but forgot to put on the card. That isn't AEW related, which is that TNT has won the bidding war to broadcast NHL games for the next season.
Yep.
For those of you who are not aware, the NHL is the National Hockey League here in the United States and also Canada.
Go Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah. That's kind of a big deal because those games are normally broadcasted on Wednesday nights. And there was a time early on in AEW when it was wondered whether or not that would be a issue, a impediment to AEW and the viewership. And now people are wondering, okay, well, this is kind of cool because Brody Lee loved hockey, and now hockey's going to be on the same network as AEW. But also, is it gonna make AEW move? Is that gonna fuck up the wrestling viewing schedule again? And Tony Khan went on Twitter and basically said, like, guys, we have a contract for the next 3 years that says we have to put out a new episode every Wednesday night. The only way they can move us is if we sign a new deal. And I'm not going to sign a new deal unless it is really beneficial to AEW as a company. So, we're fine. Everybody calm down. Everything's fine here. We had a slight weapons malfunction for a moment, but everything's fine now.
I also saw a thing that the hockey games would be put on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
So, because it's not every hockey game. Because
it's like a good chunk of my thing.
Yeah, because essentially, for people who don't know about sports broadcasting, because I'm pretty sure you don't know a ton about it back, basically, a certain grouping of games are picked for national broadcast, and these are the ones that are going to be on, that would be on like ABC or Fox or NBC or CBS, one of those channels. That's the national broadcast one, and typically, different stations get different teams or different like smaller matches that aren't being done on national broadcast. So if you're a Atlanta Braves fan, you tune into this station and you can get every Atlanta Braves game as it comes out. Okay. That's typically how it goes. So like they're like, I can't remember what the channel is, but there's like there's a Florida channel and they show Tampa Bay Lightning. Whenever there's a Tampa Bay Lightning game, it's Tampa Bay Lightning. But
that channel is always on in your house.
I don't have cable. The Lightning's cool. They won the Stanley Cup.
When though?
Last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. They're a 2-time Stanley Cup winner.
I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I know two things about hockey. the basic idea of how it's played and the fact that Brody Lee was really into it.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people from like the north.
Oh no, I know a third thing. Chris Jericho's dad is a hockey player.
Yeah, he played for the Rangers.
Ted Irvine.
What?
Ted Irvine is his name.
Yeah. No, like if you're from the north half of America, you like hockey. Because that's like the only game you can play for half the year. That's why football's so popular here in the South, because it's good climate for it all the year, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, the other thing I wanted to talk about real quick, and I don't know if you've even heard about this, Boingo, but A&E has recently been broadcasting a series of documentaries on iconic WWE talent, and this is being done in conjunction with WWE. There's modern interviews from WWE talent, and there's a lot of archival footage in these. It's basically what if Dark Side of the Ring was propaganda? Basically. I mean, it's never blatantly like WWE is awesome.
The bright side of the ring.
Yeah, it never goes too deep into like the bad stuff. There will be like, and here's a segment on the bad stuff in this person's life, and now they're older and they've gotten past it. Never mind how they did that.
Back to sucking their dick.
Mm-hmm. And the first episode was on Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I skipped that one because, and I don't know if I've talked about this much before, but I kind of already know everything about Steve Austin
Yeah.
because when I got into wrestling, one of the first things I did was watch every Steve Austin clip I could get my hands on, Stone Cold or otherwise. I love Steve Austin. He's maybe the greatest of all time, in my opinion. It depends on the day.
I mean, he was
Um,
able to not just change his character up, but also change his style while keeping it the same character and similar style throughout his entire career.
so I didn't watch that because I was basically like, there's probably very little new
It's
information
like you
about
watching.
that.
It's like you watching a general public Transformers documentary.
Yeah. I mean, I did watch the Toys That Made Us episode on Transformers, but that was only because it had a new interview with Yoke-san, and that guy rarely does
Mm.
interviews. Um, but what was I saying? Oh yeah, one funny thing I did hear about that is that they do the thing WWD always fucking does, which is that they said, "Oh yeah, Stone Cold did his King of the Ring promo where he coined the term Austin 316, and then overnight he was an overnight sensation. Stone Cold Steve Austin was born." No, he was still the ringmaster after that promo for months. It took him months to become Stone Cold after that. That was just the impetus of that transformation. God damn it.
Yeah. They
Uh,
also probably didn't mention that it was a response to Jake the Snake, did he? Did they?
mm, mm. But I did actually sit down and watch the second episode because that was on Rowdy Roddy Piper, who
Rest
is
in
someone
peace.
I've always been highly interested in the hot rod. He died just before I got into wrestling. And Ronda was big when I got into wrestling, so I was always kind of aware of Roddy, and I've seen a few of his promos, but I've never deep dived on it. So I was like, okay, give me Transformers the basics on Rowdy Roddy Piper. And that's basically what I got here. Because they went over a large chunk of it is actually spent on the pre WWE days of his career when he was a kid growing up and then into his days touring the territories and basically explaining how different wrestling was back then and how being a heel worked back then. Of you didn't have a character that evolved. You had an act and you did it in one territory and then you would go to the next territory and start all over again and basically iterate on that act. Um, and there was a really cool bit in there because sprinkled all throughout this is archive interviews with Roddy. They get a lot of insight into his career just because he did a lot of interviews after he was done wrestling. And there's one bit where he talks about he has like boxes in his house, boxes upon boxes of yellow legal pads that he would just write down lines on. Like he was writing his promos out before it was cool because it took so much work to come up with some of his lines. Um, and like a lot of the time he would write something out and then not use it until like two or three territories later. Like that's how into his character he would get. He was also one of those guys who kept his wrestling completely separated from his family life. Like his family owned a farm up in the mountains, and he basically kept them sequestered there because he knew if I take you guys into town, I'll take you guys into town every once in a while, but if we do it as a regular thing, we're gonna get mobbed, and I might get punched in the face in front of you, and I don't want that to happen. Um, uh,
That's
and
one aspect I'm kind of glad has died with kayfabe,
yeah,
because
uh,
nobody should have to live like a hermit for their job, you know.
mhm. But then the WWE part was really cool because they actually acknowledged how integral he was to making the first WrestleMania a success. The whole like thing of him coming in and ruining the coronation of the Rock and Wrestling Connection, and then having a match against Mr. T and all that kind of crazy shit. Um, and then eventually, when they went into him making movies and leaving wrestling, um, there's a couple clips of a new Vince McMahon interview that I assume they just set him down for an hour and asked him a bunch of questions for all the episodes.
Yeah.
But there's a great bit at the start. The episode opens with Vince miking up, and he goes, "Oh, hang on," and he takes out his cell phone and he goes, "Yeah, Roddy." Yeah, I'm about to, they're gonna ask me some questions about you. Oh, it's warm down there? Okay. You saving me a spot? That's great.
God damn. Here's the thing. That's the weird thing about Vince McMahon. Minus the billionaire bullshit, because no ethical billionaire, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Minus the, like, if I just met him as a dude, I'd go like, oh, this is a fine old guy. Yeah, he's a little behind the times, but like, whatever. I'd help him fucking plant a garden if he asked me to. Like, yeah, I'd help him out. He seems like that kind of old guy neighbor. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's a tasteless joke, but I'll nod and go like, yeah,
Whatever. He'll
sure.
be dead in 10 years. Who
Yeah, but
cares?
he's friendly enough, and he'll pay me fucking $20, whatever. You know, that kind of
Mm-hmm.
guy.
Yeah.
But
But
like
then there's also,
the
there's a
business
great
side.
segment. There's a great segment when they're talking about the period of Roddy's career where he was just openly trashing WWE and wrestling in general. Like they showed a clip of him saying, like, "Oh yeah, wrestling, they're just gonna chew you up and spit you out, and they'll leave you more broken than they found you." And I should know because I grew up on the streets. Um, and Vince McMahon is like, "Yeah, my reaction to that was, what the fuck are you doing? And you're not gonna open somebody back with open arms." When they just trash the hell out of your company. But after a few years, you forgive and forget.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Um,
Like, I don't know if that's WWE just being a bigger person, or if it's just like, you'll come crawling back anyway, so whatever, we can do whatever we want.
yeah. And then they showed footage from his Hall of Fame induction, which I'd not seen that speech before. It was really sweet, especially with how much they put him over as like, oh, people only knew him as a kayfabe bad guy because he is like so gracious and so happy to be being honored in that speech. I'm really glad he was one of the people who got inducted before he died. Um, but there was that, and then there was a great segment with Rhonda talking about her run. I'm pretty sure it was a new interview with her. Um, and she talks about like, yeah, the whole reason I went by Roddy Piper is because, well, it was it or Rowdy Rousey, is because it was suggested by my fight coach, and I didn't initially want to do it until I bumped into Piper, and he gave me permission. And then when I went to WWE, I felt like I really had to lean into it because it was like, Roddy's gone. This is my chance to introduce this generation to him and give them a reason to go back and look at his stuff.
Be Hawkeye.
hmm Um, so yeah, I really enjoyed it. It more than anything I've ever seen, and I've seen a few like really good videos on YouTube about Roddy Piper. But more than any of those, this made me understand why he is such like a beloved and legendary figure in wrestling, and it did its job of making me want to go get on the now non-existent network and watch some Roddy Piper matches.
Oh, they could not
Uh,
time that better, could they?
Yeah. Uh, but no, that was really good. So if you can still find that, I don't know if A&E has it streaming somewhere, or maybe you have a certain website you have access to
Or you could
that
just
maybe,
sail the seven seas.
yeah, you might own an eye patch. I don't know. um,
You might be like a certain wolf.
mhm. Your last name might be Pride. Yeah, check it out if you haven't, and you
Dumb
don't,
pirate
and you're
jokes. Do you want it? Should we explain the joke to anybody?
No, just go read Jonathan Hickman's X-Men, people. It's good stuff.
Marauder specifically.
Yeah. I have things to
We
say
got
about that tomorrow as well. I
we
have
got.
things to say about that
Have you seen
tomorrow
all
as
the
well.
costumes?
The Hellfire Gala stuff,
Yeah.
I've seen only what you've shown me.
Oh my god, I got so much to show you
I'm not caught up yet. I
tomorrow.
read
No. There,
Dawn Volume 5 last night.
real quick, preview for No Price Podcast. No, they leaked. They showed all the costumes.
Oh shit.
People were so fucking horny for Colossus.
That's I mean, if I remember that right, because you did show that, that's fair.
Yeah. But we'll talk more about that on No Price Podcast. Listen to it on Monday. In the meantime, Platinum Max Caster had an interview on Outside the Ring that I didn't watch.
Yeah, it was pretty solid. Outside the Ring has this really nice quality of kind of letting more of the wrestler's shoot personality show through, but as a jokey kayfabe character. Because for those of you who don't know, Max Caster is a gay cis man. And
I
in
thought that
this, he
was
was
his partner.
they might both be gay. I don't know,
Talk about the
but
thing. I'll Google it real quick.
yeah, because if I got that wrong, that would be like the most embarrassing thing I've ever gotten wrong on
Because
this show.
I know his partner, his tag team partner is gay because he has a YouTube channel with his husband.
Uh, I kind of can't keep because my take changes if he's not gay.
Hold on, I'm on Wikipedia. Uh, all it says he's the son of a former NFL player.
Well, he was radiating extreme awkward homosexual millennial energy in this interview, and I thought it was hilarious and wonderful. And that was all I had to say. But now I don't know if it's even appropriate to say that. So fuck.
Yeah, because Anthony Bowens. I know is gay.
Mhm. Um, but no, there was a lot of great jokes, a lot of great goofs, a lot of great gaffs. He's always in every clip. He's sitting in the chair a different way, which is wonderful. And then there's a few standard questions that Lexi asks every episode. One of which is dead or alive. What celebrity would you want to have dinner with? And he went and said, well, I'd want to have dinner with my good friend MJF, and he'd be dead.
Oh, that's. I'm looking.
Um,
I don't see any information of that kind of variety on his Insta.
hmm.
It's all very
He also
it's all very promotional on his Instagram.
he also at one point. This is weird. We're just like stalling and investigating a man's Instagram to see if he has a certain sexual orientation.
Research, journalism.
Fact checking.
I mean,
It's about.
the way you described him sitting in the chair radiates bi energy.
Mhm. I mean, here at MMWP, we're all about ethics in wrestling journalism.
God damn it! Fuck you! Fuck that phrase! Fuck bringing that out! Fuck you talking about, bitch! Look at us! We cannot use that phrase lest we make people think we are those fucking weirdos.
We're not, though. That's why I said it in a jokingly mocking tone.
Yeah, but if you just saw someone say that and looked at us, not knowing the goddamn context, what would they think?
The internet is a problem.
La lay loo
Um,
lay low.
uh, but yeah, no, this interview was great. There's one point where he mentions like, yeah, his favorite CD is the compilation album of all the acclaimed songs, which features the full acclaimed entrance theme, and he will never release that to the world. It's only his. Which is basically a joke at the fact that it doesn't actually have lyrics. It's just a beat that he freestyles over.
Yeah.
Um, uh, but
But I haven't been able to find anything, so let's just cut it down the middle. He's bi.
yeah, that's a safe assumption.
Safe assumption. Just assume they're bi and
Listen, it was a good, fun interview. I enjoyed watching it. That was the point. Go watch it if you haven't. Blah blah
sick.
blah blah.
Tell me about the
Um,
skit show. Tell me about Saturday
yeah,
Night Live, but for wrestlers.
you.
Once a month I will inevitably say one thing to make you go like, "Dear God, why did you say that? I can never unhear that."
Yeah.
By the way,
So this,
people, frosting is a condiment.
I hate you so much for that. I hate you. I will literally bash your face in with a thing of frosting at the summit for that.
Am I wrong?
Fuck you. That's the answer.
I'm not wrong though.
Fuck you.
Why are you booing?
BTE this
I'm
week,
right.
being the elite this week, was front loaded with segments showing a different perspective of the elite's adventures on last week's Dynamite. We open with a sort of pre-segment of the Bucks and the Good Brothers hanging out by the trailer, getting ready to film the opening segment. And Matt's like, hey, check it out. For the outfit this week, I whipped out one of my danglies. Look at my danglies. I'm a 30-year-old man who's uncomfortable with the word earring. And Nick's like, yeah, I got a dangly too. And Gallows goes, yeah, me free. And they all look at Carl Anderson, and he's like, yeah, me four. And he points to his dick. And it was a joke.
That's a.
That's a dangly. That dangles, doesn't it? Ha ha ha. We're grown men. Um, then we got Brandon Cutler's footage because he was actually shooting of that entrance, and also the promo that Kenny cut on Dynamite from the trailer. And they actually played it pretty well because they used that footage to, once Moxley slammed into the trailer, they immediately cut to footage of them running away from Brandon Cutler's perspective. And everybody's screaming like a little girl and going, holy shit, that truck was huge. So there's your explanation for how they got away. They just ran in the other direction.
I mean, that makes sense. I don't know why people go like, where they go?
Where did Shaq go? What happened to Shaq?
Whenever Shaq's not on screen, I gotta ask, where's Shaq?
Exactly. Then after the intro, there was a brief little segment of just Matt Jackson going like, "Hey, thanks American Airlines," and he holds up his luggage, and it's one of those like hard plastic shell carry-on cases, and it's got a nice big gash in the front of it.
Boof.
Yeah. Then we got the Dark Order segment of the week, which was the Dark Order's all talking about some stuff, and they asked Stu Grayson why he's perched on top of the couch, and he gets down and starts talking with them as well. When Hangman comes in and they're like, "Dude, where the hell did you go last week? What happened? You never came back." John was very upset. Johnny was hungry, and they had to take him back to the hospital, and he had 12 inches of his arm removed. It's all your fault, Hangman. He didn't have enough egg rolls. What the hell? And Hangman's like, shit, there's got to be something we can do to fix this. And they all turn their eyes to Five and his comically large penis that's been a joke on the show for the last couple weeks. And he goes, "Oh no, you can't take 12 inches. I'll be back down the free. I'll be back where I started." And they all just pounce on him, and it cuts away. And that was Dark Order this week. I hope you've all enjoyed Dark Order this week.
There's a lot more dick jokes than I thought there should be.
I mean, I've been keeping a lot of them back because they weren't plot relevant until recently.
God damn it, motherfucker.
Then we got a segment, I'm assuming set before last week's Dynamite, where we see the Bucks actually give Brandon his new jacket, which he's very excited about. He sees it has an elite patch on the front. He's like, "Oh, I'm finally an official member of the group." And they're like, "Kinda. You might want to look at the back of it, though." And it just says "Young Boy" in big font on the back. It's like, do I have to wear this? And they're like, yes, you do. You also have to wear Cody's old mask.
Why?
Because we're heels now. That's why. Then we got a brief segment of Peter Avalon running into Leva Bates backstage and trying to make conversation with her. But then Cesar Bononi, he's now like in the middle of forming a big "Aren't We Cool Sexy Boys" faction on Dark with. He comes up and
Caesar
he's like,
Bononi
"Hey,
is forming it, or Peter Avalon is forming it?
uh, it's kind of a joint thing with them, Ryan Nemeth, and JD Drake.
Okay,
They're
so this is like
forming.
it's a co-op. It's cooperative.
Yeah, it's like a sexy Hollywood boys co-op basically.
I saw a picture of the whole group together, and like no, it was it may have been like a response on Twitter of like someone was saying JD Drake doesn't fit, and Peter Avalon going to bat for him, going like, no, JD
Mm.
Drake is sexy. The fuck you talking about?
There's people out there who like bears.
Yeah, just look at Bear
Um,
Country.
I mean, WWE had a whole WrestleMania storyline about it last year. Otis and Mandy.
See, here's the
Yeah,
thing. I always think of bears in the gay context.
there's women who like bears. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, but bears is often denoted big, hairy, gay man.
That's true.
It's not often attributed to straight men.
But um, when Cesar Bononi comes up to Peter Avalon in the segment, he's basically like, "Yeah, we're awesome, we're great. She's just some girl. Who cares about her?" Ha 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 ha. And Cesar walks off like, "Yeah, I'll see you later." And while he's playing up like I'm a cool guy now to Cesar Bononi, Leva Bates walks off in the background, and he turns around to apologize to her, and he sees she's gone, and he's all sad.
Mm. You know what would be the funniest punchline of that? He just finally goes like, I miss Leva Bates and I want to talk to her. And Caesar goes like, dude, talk to her. I talk to my wife all the time. You have a wife? You haven't been following me on Twitter?
They should do that next week, yeah.
Because that's something I like. That's something I really dig about Benoni. It's just like trying to solve this problem and everybody getting behind them.
Yeah.
I get happy feelings about like everybody trying to help him out.
Mhm. Um, then we got a segment of Stu Grayson hanging out in the Dark Order lair, and Brandon Cutler comes in, saying like, "Oh, hey, you wanted me to help you film a bit today, right?" And Stu's like, "Yeah, we're gonna go hunt down Butcher and beat him up because I really like beating up Butcher. We're gonna do that." And and as he's saying this, Anna Jay is perched on the couch behind him, and he notices her in the viewfinder, and he turns around, and she's gone. And Brandon's like, "What? I didn't see anything." And he's like, "Yeah, fuck it. Let's just go get Butcher." And so we get a bit of them running around backstage trying to find Butcher, all the while just missing Anna Jay, like walking the other way.
Mm.
Yeah. It's the whole thing.
Are they playing up a Fight Club angle or missing her angle? I wonder.
Bit, I think. Because remember, they had teased a potential romance between them just before Anna Jay got injured.
Right. So tell me
Um,
about the other dick joke. Tell me
yeah,
about the other dick joke.
so Ryzen is sitting with an ice pack on his crotch, and Vicky Guerrero and Nyla Rose come in and they're like, "What's up, dude? We haven't seen you anywhere all week." And he's like, yeah, I've been here kind of resting and recuperating. Because you know how I was eating those candies the other week?" And they're like, "Yeah, the blue chews. Did something go wrong with those?" And he's like, "Yeah. We told you not to eat those, bro." "Yeah. So, you gonna be okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I went to see a doctor about it." And they're like, "Which doctor? There's a lot of doctors here." "Well, I tried going to Dr. Sampson, and he just laughed me off." Did you try going to Brit?" "No, I'm crazy, but I'm not insane. I went to Dr. Lufer." And it cuts to him walking up to Lufer backstage, and Luthor is just standing with his face in a corner, and he taps his shoulder and he's like, Dr. Luthor, I need your help. And Luthor turns around and screams at him, "What do you want? I'm very busy right now." And he's like, I took some boner pills and I kind of can't get the effect to wear off. Can you help me out with that? And he's like, sure, take this. And he hands him an imaginary pill. Now go away. I have to get back to my paperwork. And he goes back to the corner.
God damn it.
Uh,
Tell me about the
it's
other dick joke. Tell me about the other dick jokes.
There actually wasn't any dick jokes in this segment, but yeah, the Bucks were on Talking Shop this week, the podcast, not the shitty wrestling pay per view. Um,
Are you saying
and
that ironically because people say that as part of the bit or as genuine?
I'm just trying to keep kayfabe over here,
Okay, I'm
buddy.
just making sure.
But the Bucks go on Talking Shop of Mania, and we see a few clips that I'm assuming were shot by Brandon with the BTE cam, where they tell the story of apparently they have a stock market group chat with some of the other talents, and Matt Jackson made some good money trading the other day. So he went to send a screen cap of the line of money that had come into his account to it, and he accidentally sent an uncropped screen cap, which showed his actual like full total in his bank account, and he was like, "Oh no, I look like the biggest asshole swinging dick to half the roster right now."
Oof.
Yeah, and he like had to apologize as everyone was clowning on him.
Good clown on that asshole.
uh, um, and then we also got a little stinger bit of the Bucks going like, "Hey, Brandon, since you're not going to be wrestling anymore while you're injured, we figured we'd clean out your locker room at Jacksonville to make room for another another random indie guy on Dark. So here's your stuff. It's in a trash bag." It was just like a Books a Million bag, but they called it a trash bag because of all Mickey James controversy.
Oh,
Because
they're in a
that's what we do
stadium.
on.
There should be 1,001 trash bags.
But they shot this like in their driving way in Southern California.
Uh,
Uh, but then we got Road 2. And this was probably the weirdest week for Road 2 ever because it's serious time promo for 10 versus Darby juxtaposed with the best friends trying to do a promo for Chris Statlander's match, and they just keep flubbing up their lines and stepping over each other and going like, "Oh, we should try doing this. Oh, Trent, are you taking off your wrist tape to try and look badass right now?" "Yes, that's what I'm doing."
I mean, that gets across the best friends faction really well.
Yeah, is really funny. Um, is good times. But then we had Dynamite, and I've been talking for like a fucking hour, so why don't you do some Dynamite segments?
Sure. I'll do like the first like three. I'll take your first one and I'll just go through my first two. So first things first, we have Hangman Adam Page versus Brian Logan Man Cage with Team Taz.
Wolverine.
Wolverine. Dwellquaw. This
Funny
was
thing is, I get the feeling he only really knows X-Men through like the arcade games.
very much so. Like he has watched the '90s cartoon, probably a couple other cartoons, played the arcade games, watched the movies. Because if I told him, "Hey, by the way, Wolverine's in the polyamorous bisexual relationship with Cyclops and Jean Grey," he'd probably go like, "What?"
He'd be like, "That's fucking wild," but all right.
Yeah, no, like he'd be confused at first. It's just like, "What? Why? Oh, because they're on a giant island called Krakoa that's living and sentient and can make a bunch of technology and houses for everybody.
No. Most of the mutants are on Krakoa. Scott and his family are on the moon
Yeah, they're on the
because they
moon.
can be. Because shut up.
Yeah, the moon has been a location in Marvel since the 60s, my friend.
And he'd be like, "Why would they go to this Krakoa place when Magneto has his island?"
Oh yeah, no
Magneto still has his island. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, no Magneto's there too. Magneto's there? Yeah. So is Mr. Sinister. Mr. Sinister's there? Yeah, and Apocalypse. Apocalypse? Yeah, but he doesn't
Yeah.
go by Apocalypse anymore. We can't pronounce his name because we're not mutants. So we still call him Apocalypse, but he has a whole new Krakoan name. Krakoa's a language? Yeah. A tree, a robot, and a dude named Cypher made it up.
Also, Captain Britain is a manic pixie dream girl from Britain now.
I mean, she's a good Captain Britain.
All I'm saying is Hickman's run has given me like a new waifu every fucking issue.
We'll talk more about that because I assume you.
If I was a mutant, I would be the biggest man slut of all time.
I mean, that's only if they'd have you.
That's fair. That's fair. That's totally fair. You know what? I'd probably be Jamie fucking Batroc if I was a mutant. Let's be honest.
Because you ain't getting magic.
Yeah.
Magic's too good for you.
I haven't even had a chance to fall for magic yet because I'm not into those issues of New Mutants. I like the ones with Beak.
Yeah, Beak's cool. Beak's a cool character. We're just in no price podcast mode right now. Jesus fucking Christ.
We keep almost doing no prize, and I love it. Because nobody fucking listens to this show anyway. Nobody cares about our opinions on wrestling, so why not?
Yeah, I mean, why not? We'll just repeat them again on no prize if anybody's listening.
Mhm.
Well, we'll try to keep it to a minimum. This match was fun. I liked it. I liked Brian Cage going full power move guy on a dude who's not just a bouncy ball. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It was really solid. I liked seeing Hangman work a different style of match, and I really liked that they used this match to better forward storylines that may have been in danger of stalling out or like feeling like they were just doing the same thing over and over again because like Brian's just been kind of having tensions with the rest of Team Taz, and Hangman's just been coming out and having a winning match with a Dark Order angle every fucking week.
Yeah,
for like the last few weeks.
But this kind of, for lack of a better way of describing it, it's a step backwards for both of the storylines, but not in a we're regressing. It's more of we are retreating to a previous state to move forward in more nuanced direction.
We need more time to get to where we want to go with these storylines, and it's believable that this match could end the way you don't expect it to end, so we're going to do that.
Because at the end of this match, Brian Cage does win in surprising fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the first kind of big win Team Taz has had in a little bit. Like, first big significant win over another person, not just like a dark person.
Yeah, bring some credibility back to them.
It does that, but it also kind of like, I would imagine, ease Team Taz tensions because, oh, hey, we got a big win. Good job,
and
Brian.
And it was Brian.
Yeah,
Brian, the guy we've been thinking about ousting. Let's keep him around.
Yeah, it probably just because happy times make everybody happier, and this loss also kind of like will probably bring Hangman down in the ratings, so he doesn't have to worry about that. But he's still gonna go out there and wrestle and win, so that'll just pop him back up in the ratings. Like, God damn it, I don't want to be here. That kind of tension with his character.
Hangman Adam Page suffering from success.
God damn. Have you seen? There's a fucking comic. It's based off an actual streamer where it's like, hey, for every $1, I'll add an extra minute to the stream. And like the timer just keeps going. And he goes like, guys, I haven't been alone to piss in a week. And the people just keep donating. And the final panel of the comic is he's in a bathtub surrounded by dollar bills. And one of the comments is like, suffering from success. And there's like, and
Yeah.
the timer in the corner of the comic panel is like a month of continued streaming. He has to stream for at least another month.
Damn.
It's a fucked up comic, but it's great. Nah, but this was a good match. I also liked Taz's kind of characterization during the whole commentary thing, because it feels like he was so desperately wanting to go out there and just tell Brian Cage, "Do this, you dumb son of a bitch," you know. But he was like
Yeah.
restrained, and when he wins, it's like, what I'm teaching him is getting through. This is good.
He has a little moment of like, we won? Oh shit, we won!
It's great. It's good. It makes them more sympathetic heels,
Mhm.
in a way. But I dig it. Next we have I fucking love this. The Super Elite are cutting a promo in the limo. Everybody's kind of giving some lines and bits, but goddamn, they acknowledge the homoeroticism inherent in the setup.
Yeah, just 8 guys sitting in the back of a limo.
Nothing wrong with that. Carl Anderson's not wearing pants. And like you look at it, it's like Carl Anderson's not wearing pants. It's just it was just a promo going like, "Hey, we're awesome. John Moxley sucks. Oh God, what was that? We're scared of John Moxley, but we're not gonna say we're scared of John Moxley. We're just hinting at it." And cut the camera. Cut the camera.
We think here's how little we think a threat John Moxley is. We're gonna put his friend in a match with Nakazawa later.
Yeah. I also like how Nakazawa's kind of like purely going along with this. There's hint and tension of Brandon Cutler not really digging it, but Nakazawa's going like, "Sweet, okay, cool, I'm down."
I get the feeling that Nakazawa's character is half supposed to be sorry I don't speak English. Like he's just doing what Kenny tells him to in Japanese because he thinks it's something completely different.
He is a loyal Japanese businessman.
Yeah. Um yeah, I thought this was a good promo for the group. The only problem I had with it was the TNA belts weren't visible at any time during it. They mentioned that he won them, but like he should have been wearing the AEW belt and holding both the TNA belts on
I
his
could have swore I
shoulders.
saw them somewhere in the limo.
Maybe
Like,
they were like on Don's lap or something, but I was looking at Kenny like, why aren't you holding those belts? Why aren't you holding those fucking belts?
yeah. And I mean, doesn't Don Callis own Impact now?
Don Callis is half 1/3 owner of it because it's him, Scott D'Amore, and one other person who isn't an on-screen character.
Okay. But next up, coming off of that promo, we have Matt and Mike, the Seidel brothers, versus Matt and Nick, the Buck brothers.
Young Bucks. They're called the Young Bucks, Boingo.
Generation Me. With Don Callis.
Wouldn't that have been great if he had started introducing them as that when he became their manager? And they're like, fuck it, yeah, why not?
Generation Me. Matt and Nick Buck.
Matt and Max Buck.
Oh, they were Nick and Matt. Okay. Correct. I'm sorry, Lord of the Impact lore.
I only know that because they make fun of it in a BTE bit, an early BTE bit where they're at a signing and somebody brings them an Impact fucking program. And they're like, I don't know why this guy's having us sign this. There's some dudes in here who kind of look like us, but I don't know. They've got different names. Who's this Max guy? What?
Yeah. But it's a Young Buck style match with Seidel flippy shit. I can't remember which Buck did the fucking Johnny Cage dick punch.
I think that was Nick.
Yeah. No, it's the older one. The older brother.
Oh, it was Matt. It was Matt.
Matt.
But no, I enjoyed this match quite a bit. The two teams just work really well together.
Yeah. But the Bucks do win. Did they win? I can't remember if they win with chicanery or not.
Yeah, they win with chicanery because there's the dick punch, and then they do a double meteora.
There
And
was
I think,
also the Twin Magic. that
Mm-hmm.
commentary is putting out, just going like, hey, the Bucks switch places without Knox noticing. That's sus.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And then they get the pin.
they get the pin, and then their SoCal buddies come out and go like, yo, why are you being a bunch of assholes? We wanted to win the belts off of you guys. We wanted to have a nice, clean, sportsman-like thing, and now you're here just being a bunch of dicks. Way to take the fun out of everything, guys. Come on. We're just
Yeah.
gonna win the belts off of you because you don't deserve it now.
Mhm. I I really dug this whole segment, but especially the aftermatch promo, because Frankie Kazarian is fucking great on the mic any day of the week. But like when you give me something that's built into kayfabe and shoot and and has just such good emotion behind it, with even with no little to no prior build, because really, if you weren't thinking about it, you probably forgot about this storyline up until now. Um,
It's been a very back burner, subtle storyline. It's
yeah, but SCU comes out of nowhere and they're like, "Hey, we're number one contenders now, so we're gonna take those belts off of you guys because you don't fucking deserve them anymore."
yeah, it's good. It also is gonna make it so fucking heartbreaking because it feels like SEU is gonna lose.
I mean, if they lose, they'll never tag again. I feel like that's gonna be a big emotional angle at Double or Nothing.
And I also imagine like the vitriol, like the next tag team comes up, goes like, "Fuck you! You made one of the greatest tag teams of all time have to break up because
It
you
might be a
because
little
you
early for
cheated."
them. It might be a little for early for them, but I would love it if it's Top Flight.
Ooh,
Because they're
have
like,
them
you
lose.
guys are our heroes. You are fucking assholes now. You prove the phrase never meet your heroes because you just destroyed a tag team that has been nothing but nice to us since we came in here.
I can imagine them going like, yeah, that kind of piss and vinegar, and losing after the Bucks, and the Bucks just go on the mic going like, "Know your place, boys. Don't say boys. They're black. That's wonky, but you know what I
Mm,
mean.
yeah.
That
Stay in
like,
your
stay in your
stay
lane.
in your lane, pal.
Stay in your lane, pals. Don't come after the Bucks. Just go like, yeah, no, yeah, you're worse than us. Fuck you.
Mhm.
Yeah, just let them be assholes. Let them be the assholes the Cornet group of wrestling fans think they are.
Mhm.
Uh,
But yeah, that whole segment was great. It leads to a minor complaining thing I have for later on in the night, but we'll get to that when we get to it.
okay.
Um, because after that, we go to another Jade Cargill video package where she's talking herself up. She's going, "Hey, I'm hot shit, and I know it, and everybody else apparently knows it because I put out the call for a manager last week, and every offer I got was from somebody who wanted to take a cut of my earnings." No, that's not going to happen. I know how much I'm worth, and only I am getting that money.
I mean, cool character motivation. That's what managers do, Jade. That's what they always do, Jade. What did you expect, Jade? That they would do this for free, Jade?
You knew?
I mean, yeah, she is, but like, it's a cool character motivation of go like, I'm self-employed. I work on myself. I'm a one-man crew. You know that kind of vibe.
It's also just weird that they used it on her and she's supposed to be a heel when that's been a major source of heel chicanery in AEW in the past, and they could have used it to get over a babyface.
Yeah, but also to me, it reminded me of all those like people that annoy you on Instagram and go like, all you gotta do is hustle. You just gotta get a couple side hustles and invest your money and shit. Side hustle, 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 hustle. It
Yeah,
reminded me
man.
of
And
that.
all you have to do is wake up every day and be positive and have, and at the end of the day, practice gratefulness. You just got to put out those good vibes, and eventually you'll get good stuff back. And I can say this because I have a shit ton of sponsorships and can interview anybody I want. And may or may not have been flaming a certain interviewer there.
Who?
You know.
No, because we like Chris Van Vliet. That's the only interviewer I'm thinking of.
I do like him. I just think that portion of his video sucks.
Oh, right. Okay. I fucking skip those. I just
You can like somebody and think they're a shithead in parts of their videos.
Yeah. I just skip them, so I don't. I didn't recognize it. But yeah, no, good video package, hyping up Jade Cargill. Not necessarily keeping a storyline up and going, but keeping her characterization going, which is just as important. But next, we have
your boy,
my boy, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy with another boy, Trent, versus my other boy, Penta Elzia Romero, with Alex Abrahantes.
I spelled it right this week.
You did. Good job, boy. Good job. I'm proud of you, man. Who wants a Scooby snack?
I'd go for a Scooby snack right now, honestly.
Those graham cracker Scooby snacks they had back in the day, they were fucking choice. Shit,
that was tight.
They were tight. Dude, imagine those with fucking Dunkaroo frosting.
Oh. Yes.
That Dunkaroo frosting, the condiment.
You had to ruin it.
I did have to ruin it. But no, this was a fun match. Orange Cassidy was more in like traditional form, classic Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, it kind of ramped up into neoclassic Orange Cassidy.
Fucking, he went from Heisei Orange Cassidy to Neo Heisei Orange Cassidy.
When are we getting Orange Cassidy decayed? Tell me that, Ray
Reiwa era Orange Cassidy. When's that coming?
Give me that Reiwa energy. Wait, you don't read manga, so you don't understand.
Who is Showa Orange Cassidy? That's the real question. Because we could actually pick a real wrestler to be that.
Al Snow? Blue Meanie!
Oh, yeah!
Blue Meanie.
I'm tweeting that. Right now.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It's the middle of the night. Nobody's going to get it, but I'm tweeting that.
At Blue Meanie, though. Find Blue Meanie's Twitter, Adam. We're doing this live, folks. Doing it live. Maybe we should ask Blue Meanie if frosting's a condiment.
I mean, keep talking about the wrestling.
I know. But no, this had a lot of classic Orange Cassidy gags, and it's been a while since we've seen him, so it's like, holy shit, it's fucking dope. But also the way Penta kind of responds to them is also this fun and ingenious. I really like the armbar snap that Penta was trying to pull on, while Orange Cassidy is trying to put his hand in his pocket, because there's a logical reason for it. It's not just a gag. If his hand's in his pocket, it's that much harder to pull his arm out. You know? They tried to do another mic spot. It didn't go great. Alex Abrahantes in that white jacket was cool. Was nice. Trent being there was dope. I'm trying to keep talking up while Vac is...
I already sent the tweet. I just almost had a heart attack because I saw something trending and I had to make sure it wasn't that person had died.
Oh, okay.
But no, everybody's fine. I like this match.
Yeah. I love the arm snap spot. It was just great.
Mm-hmm. I love just that opening with Penta shoving his hand in Orange's face. Like, no, Zero
He just does that all the
Miedo.
time. Also, Orange Cassidy taking off his glasses and tossing them like Penta does with his glove, and trying to grab them and just failing and just standing there like we all do when we do that. Just like, keep it in. Keep it in.
And I love that they tried to do the Penta says distraction and actually countered it this time.
Yeah.
Like, if this was WWE in like the fucking what's Ruthless Aggression era, they would do that angle in a mid card match every week for like 7 weeks until it got countered. But this is like the third time that I can remember.
Yep. But it was a good match. Counter with the mic. Orange Cassidy does get the pin. Where is my mind?
Where is my mind? Well, I'll tell you where Britt Baker is in the rankings because she went and talked to Tony Schiavone and she's like, "Hey, look, I'm number one. There's all this awesome shit going on for me right now. Where's Hikaru Shida? I don't know where she is. Everybody else is losing. Who cares? I'm gonna be in action next week on Dynamite, and I'm gonna keep dominating these rankings until I get my title match."
Yep. She's doing pole dancing on Instagram. That's where she's at. Do you follow Hikaru Shida on Instagram?
I'm just gonna open Instagram real quick. You talk about the next segment.
Oh, dear God.
No, I've seen those videos already.
Yeah. I know. I know. Every once in a while I see your name in the likes, and I go like, "Oh, hey, there he is."
I would never simp at your service, my queen.
You would never simp, sir. May I remind you of your menu of simping targets? Shall I just
Listen.
list the blonde ones?
We don't have all night.
Okay,
Go for
fine.
the redhead. That's a short one.
Japanese?
No. Well, that'd be at least 3 hours.
I mean, you got to at least name every single Kamen Rider season with a major female character, don't we?
No, there's not a lot of Kamen Rider waifus. There's like maybe 3.
I'm okay. We're veering off target. I want to take a guess. The main female character in Kamen Rider Drive.
No, I can like here's a thing I have. If I really like a canon ship, I won't be attracted to either character in that ship.
Okay.
I'll be like, no, you two are too precious together. Fucking OTP. I would never have a fantasy that would fuck with that.
Then I'm also gonna hazard a guess that the one from Double isn't gonna be in there, and the one from O.
I haven't seen Double, dude.
Double's good. Watch Double. I say that after having not watched Kamen Rider in like a year.
You watched the Presidents. You watched Gems.
Yeah. The main female writer from Gaiam.
When it was on, yes, not so much these days.
Okay. I'm getting close. I'm getting there. Have you seen Deno?
I've not seen Deno.
So that precludes her. You didn't like Ghost, so I'd imagine you wouldn't like the characters.
Oh, she was one of the worst characters in that show. Jesus fucking Christ.
Goth Girl from Forze.
Haven't seen Forza. I have a feeling all the characters I sent for you haven't even seen yet.
Probably. The main the robot lady from fucking 01.
I toyed with the idea, but no, she is not my 01 crush.
Is it the fucking cop lady?
There's not a cop lady in 01. What are you talking about? Her name is Yua Yaiba. She's Kamen Rider Valkyrie, and she works for the Ames paramilitary unit that is subcontracted by Zaya Enterprises.
A cop by any other name, sir. And the chick from Wizard.
But which chick from Wizard?
Either the cop chick or the one who's married to the wizard boy.
No and no.
Is there another female character here? The only other one I can think of is the
Female writer from Wizard, dude. Common
what?
Rider Mage. She was my first writer crush. I can't believe you don't know this.
Motherfucker, I've only watched 12 episodes of Wizard.
Haven't you seen my Wizard video?
Motherfucker, I was in your Wizard video.
Exactly. You don't even know me. We're not even really friends, bro.
Motherfucker. What do you you think I remember shit? Remember
That's a
any?
good point. That is a good point. You are kind of a dumbass.
Hey, judge a fish not by its ability to climb a tree.
All right, so Mr. Fish, how well would you do in a blood and guts match?
Well, probably as good as this promo was, because thank you for bringing us back on track. We had gone off the rails there. We have a parlay, me mateys. I only heard it in pirate films.
Yeah.
With Pinnacle and Inner Circle coming out to the ring under an agreement to not fight, to be gentlemen, to be sportsmen in this whole thing.
And just to make sure, we're going to put Tony Schiavone in the middle of you guys, and nobody wants to hurt Tony Schiavone. We'll take his mic, we'll belittle him, but we're not going to hurt Tony Schiavone.
But nobody ever belittles Tony Schiavone. They just go like, "Hey, you're Tony Schiavone, and I'm talking now." Schiavone. I also like how Jericho has avoided trying to say Schiavone now that he's faced. Like, his character would still say Schiavone, because this is how his character pronounces it, but he's avoiding it to not be an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, they're doing a coin toss. A coin toss.
Or at least they were supposed to.
But then the Pinnacle goes like, no, then the Inner Circle goes like, yeah, no, fuck you guys, fuck everything. And the Pinnacle goes like, yeah, we're whiny heels, we want the advantage because you jumped us last week. And Inner Circle being babyface go like, fine, fuck you, whatever, we're gonna win anyway. And then we just get dope ass promo work from everybody except like Jake Hager, which promos aren't his strong suit, and Wardlow, who's not necessarily bad at promos, but he's inexperienced at them.
Mm-hmm. I was a little upset Wardlow didn't get to talk, but you know, you can't have everything.
No.
At least this wasn't that Pinnacle promo from a few weeks ago. But yeah, no, this was a really good segment. I enjoyed the hell out of it, especially the ending bit where frickin' or like close to the ending where MJF is like, Jericho, you're so fucking old and tired. Everybody can see it in your face. Just look at your eyes right now, dude. We're gonna wipe the floor with you. Well, I'm not even worried about you specifically.
Know what that reminded me of? It reminded me of the 10th Doctor just whispering in the
Thank you,
ear.
me too.
Don't you think she looks a little tired?
Mm-hmm. Oh, could you imagine if that's how he began sowing dissension?
God damn. But it's like fascinating, it's great. I love Jericho's just full on, yeah. No, I was curtain jerking in WCW at 25. You're forgetting the fact that I main evented in Mexico, in Canada, in Japan, the years before that. Don't ignore your history, folks.
Mm-hmm. And basically this ends in everybody kind of like almost coming to blows and then agreeing to just walk it off.
Mm-hmm.
However, a little later in the show, and I'm gonna go ahead and jump to this because this is two really big complaining points I have with this episode. Technically free, but during an ad break this week, Sammy Guevara brought back his cue card gimmick.
He's been doing that for the past couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. But he basically redid his promo from the match, saying that like, yeah, I'm gonna beat everybody, even if I'm the last man standing. I don't care. Or I'm face now. I'm gonna put my all into it. But like the way his cue cards were worded implied that he would be entering the match first, which contradicted Pinnacle's promo about having the advantage.
No, entering the match first, being the first two.
Mm-hmm. But like, his card said he would be first.
Yeah, first two. Okay, entering the match means being the first one in the ring. He is the first member of the inner circle going into the match. Then the pinnacle, and then another pinnacle.
But the point I'm trying to make, motherfucker, is that his card said the first man in the match, which a non-initiated viewer would read and think, okay, so does Inner Circle have the advantage or does Pinnacle have the advantage? I'm confused.
No, because entering, that's always been the phrasing for like multi-man matches like this, is the people who start the match are entering the match first. There's a reason why Royal Rumble starts with number 1 and number 2 and not, you know what I'm saying? They're still considered number 1 and number 2 of the Royal Rumble, even though they're beginning the match first.
All right.
And it's also a B promo that wasn't even spoken and most people probably didn't even pay attention to, so.
Yeah, I'll admit it, I'm picking nits, but I still liked that nit.
Yeah, it's fine.
And another nit I like is Michael Nakazawa, because he came out for his match with Eddie Kingston, and Kingston was basically like, this is fucking bullshit. I'm not doing this. Kenny, get out here. I want a match with you. Get your fucking ass out here. And Kenny's basically like, no, I'm not coming out there. And he's like, all right, fine. I'm going to break Nakazawa's ankle like you guys broke my ankle a while back. And I only just now healed up from. And they're like, do we still fucking do that? We kind of need Nakazawa. And he's like, I'm going to fucking do it unless you give me what I want. And they're like, we don't want to do that. Cutler, go get in there and do something. And Brandon Cutler's just like, fucking what? You're not my boss. And he gets knocked on his ass on the way out of the entrance tunnel. And for a second, you don't know why, until Moxley comes out with a chair and starts going after Kenny Omega. And he's like, fine, I'll give you what you want. What do you want? I'm fucking Triple H talking to Batista here. What do you want? And they go, tag match with you and Nakazawa next week. And I was like, really? Not right now? Not Holla Holla Playa? Just next week? And it's not even like for a title shot? Okay.
It feels much more of like, we just wanted to work together to beat you up.
Mm-hmm.
At this point in time, titles don't mean anything. It's pride.
Yeah.
Also, if you're with Nakazawa, it's basically 2-on-1.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the vibe I got. Also, I really love how they have Kenny Omega's leg in the chair, and Don Callis is going like, "No, that's my cash cow. Don't do this to me."
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say it like that. He didn't say those words, but that's like the vibe.
Yeah.
But I don't remember this Taz promo.
It's Christian.
Right. I was thinking of Brian Cage. In my head, I just saw Tony Schiavone and Brian Cage next to each other, and I was like, I don't remember that. Oh yeah, Taz is short. Taz is trying to cut a promo and just go like, yo, no, Team Taz is great. Cage comes in and goes, Christian Cage comes in and goes, Taz just goes like, fuck you. The fuck you doing? Fucking lanky ass son of a bitch. And Christian goes like, yeah, no, you guys are losers. Fuck you.
I'm going to go through each and every one of you.
Yeah, I'm going to...
Because Will Hobbs may have gotten the advantage on me, but we can still do this thing. I'm still awesome. I'm Christian, yeah.
I'm Christian Cage.
Christian Cage.
I'm Christian Cage.
Christian Cage. What the fuck are we doing right now?
We're trying to keep ourselves entertained at 12:30 in the morning. That's what we're doing.
We might as well be at a fucking Denny's.
No, Waffle House.
Yeah, Waffle House. Denny's
House.
Closes at 10.
I had a realization. I'll probably bring it back up in No Price Podcast. Both Gambit and Rogue are Southern. They probably know each other's Waffle House orders.
be surprised if most X-Men know like their friends and families Waffle House
No, but
orders.
here's the thing: Waffle House is a Southern institution. It isn't nationwide, man.
No, they've got fucking ones out in like Nevada and shit.
Yeah, but like, it started in the South. It is kind of like there's a connection there, and there's more often Huddle Houses other places, not Waffle
Hmm.
House.
Is it just a name difference?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been to a Huddle.
Well,
I haven't been to a Huddle House. I've only been to Waffle Houses.
all right. Well, people make us famous so we can go on road trips to Huddle House.
Uh, but next, you got to talk to us.
Oh, fuck, that's right. Penelope Ford with Kip Sabian versus Chris Statlander with Orange Cassidy. This was a pretty solid women's match.
Yeah.
Um, and I say that specifically because it really felt like this was just the token women's match on the show. It had some heat, it had some storyline going into it, but it very much felt like the last few puffs of Kip and Co. versus Best Friends.
Yeah, it was very much, hey, we want to give Chris Statlander a fun match. There's a little bit of like vapor left from this feud. Let's just use it to do like this one last thing, and then we can start the new stuff.
I mean, Chris did come back by throwing a sheet of plexiglass in Penelope's
Yeah,
face.
that's what I'm saying. It's like there was one more ember, just enough to cook a potato.
Hmm. So Chris Statlander got the pin after hitting her finisher, the Big Bang Theory.
Bazinga.
Fine.
This podcast, slowly making Simeon go insane.
Hey, that's my shoot name, brother.
Oh, dude, we say it at the beginning anyway. What the fuck are we talking
Yeah,
about?
that's true. That's true. What is this shit?
Besides, we need to start thinking like Jim Ross. You can't be a vacuumator your whole life. If people don't know the name Simeon Scott, what's gonna happen when you're like 40?
Well, obviously, I'll be Jungle Jack Perry, the vacuuminator. Boy.
Esquire,
The third.
Baron,
Von Liechtenstein.
Baron von Simeon, Jungle Jack Parry boy, Esquire the Third, at your service.
Manservant of Supergirl.
Isn't that Lex Luthor Jr.? I know I'm
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That whole period of Superman comics is weird. I don't know why we idolize it.
I mean, he had cool hair. So the Factory had a match
Yeah.
versus the Nightmare Family, being QT Marshall
Aaron Solo, Nick Camarado
versus
versus. Am I gonna? What's going on?
Lee Jackson, QT not QT Marshall, Billy Gunn, and Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah. And Dustin went back to his old blue paint. He didn't have the half face monster mouth.
Let the man paint his face however he pleases.
Yeah, but I like the monster mouth, and I was hoping it was going to be a thing for a little while.
Yeah. But it was this was a fine match. This was a fun 3-person tag. Dustin took a lot of the heat. But eventually QT wins, and as they're trying to get away and going,
After Anthony Agogo gut punches everybody, he just steals the pin.
yeah, he steals the pin, and QT's going like, haha, we won, we're escaping because we're heels, we're going back
And
to the bus that we
importantly-
stole.
Yeah, they rode in on Cody's tour bus.
Which just made me think, oh, Lex Luger.
Yeah. But that's like a thing these days. Is a lot of really successful wrestlers have tour buses
I
because
mean,
apparently after the initial expenditure, that's more cost effective than flying everywhere.
it totally makes sense. It makes 10 times more sense. Yeah, it just makes sense.
Like the Miz has a bus.
I mean, why not?
Yeah,
And you could probably get a tour bus like that on the secondhand market relatively cheaply.
if not.
Uh,
Um,
but QT's going back to the bus, and totally subtly, like real hidden in the background, we see a figure in the bus.
it's so fucking obvious. It's fucking obvious, even if you're not paying attention, because I used to talk all the time about the fact that Cody Rhodes has one of those text everybody, talk to your fans lines that he just uses to promote shit. Guess what he texted 5 minutes before Dynamite went on the air?
Oh God, I'm trying to. It's okay. For people who can't see the stream, it says, "I feel like coming back tonight." Nice.
Uh,
But Cody Rhodes is in the bus, like totally visible, and it took Tony Schiavone like 10 seconds to go like, "Wait, who's that in the bus?"
Tony, Tony, you're better than this.
But then Cody pops out. They have a little street fight. It's cool. Everybody's just surrounding him like it's fucking middle school.
Yeah, I was reminded of the backlot brawl that they had with Santana and Ortiz.
Then they eventually get up onto the top of the bus, and Cody does a figure four leg lock on the top of the bus to QT.
And I love that Aubrey's just standing there like, what the fuck are you doing?
This isn't wrestling.
You're not even in this match, sir.
I know you're my boss, but fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
The match was over. This was just like
Yeah. The match was long over. It's just Cody coming back to be like, hey, look at me, I'm awesome.
he's not Rob Van Dam. What are you talking about?
I mean, but then after that whole chicanery, because they got to give everybody time to get back to the arena, we went over some stuff for
It's not
next
that far
week.
from the arena. Where they were was not that far from the arena.
Yeah, but they got to like find their marks and whatnot, you know.
I mean, their marks are on the other side of the camera.
That's true.
That's a good fucking
Uh,
joke. That's a good fucking joke.
fine. It's okay. Next week.
I have pissed you off so much with my goddamn.
Dude, I went into this with a headache, and despite me taking 2 aspirin, it has not gone away. And it's also gotten progressively hotter in here because fucking I have my door closed, so minimum sound going out into the house. But also it's starting to warm up here. And if I turn on my aircon, it's right there. And the microphone is right there. Uh, but next week on the Blood and Guts show, we will have Cody Rhodes versus QT Marshall, Kenny Omega and Michael Nakazawa versus Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston, Britt Baker in action, and a tag team eliminator to determine the number one contenders to the tag titles.
Sick. We also
Why? No, no, no. We'll go into that in a second.
Yeah.
It's kind of big news, but fucking that is so much shit to put in the same match as the same show as a war game style match. Like how long are you guys expecting Dynamite to be next week? Because if it's still supposed to be the standard 2 hours, I'm going to be real concerned about some of these matches either being rushed or blood and guts being rushed.
I can see the Britt Baker match being a like a 5 minute squash.
2 minute squash, dude.
I can see Kenny Omega, Michael Nakazawa, Jon Moxley, Eddie Kingston being like a 5 minute squash, with Kenny Omega standing on the side, never tagging in because I don't want to be beat up by them, and Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston just beat up on Michael Nakazawa and pinning him.
Hmm.
So
Uh,
that would just leave the Cody match and the tag team match and Blood and Guts, which I could see basically being 15 minutes for the other two matches and the rest of Dynamite for Blood and Guts.
yeah, yeah, that would be fine. But also, I have a big problem with this fucking tag team eliminator happening.
Yeah.
Because you did a big badass promo in the same fucking show where SCU says, hey, we're the number one contenders and we're literally just waiting for you to sign the contracts to have a title match with us. Like, really, we got to do a tag team eliminator to set up that match? I get that it's a big show and you want to get a bunch of guys on there and you want to make it be big and impressive, but like, it feels so Ludo narrative dissonance bullshit
May I
to have this
kayfabe it?
happen.
May I kayfabe it? The Bucks know SCU's promise that if they lose, they're gonna break up. They said, fine, you can have your match, but you must win this match to basically kind of try and break up SCU so they don't have to fight them.
I was going there as well, and my point was going to be that should have been, they should have just picked up the mics and said that after SCU's promo. Like,
True.
simple little fix that would have made me fine with this. Otherwise, I find it highly annoying. They may still do it on BTE. They may have this be a BTE segment.
And they may have it be on the road too. Because they're doing a road to the Blood and Guts.
Of course they are. They do a road to every fucking Dynamite now. But, like, I don't know. That just really irked me in the moment. What didn't irk me, though, was some really exciting news, which is that we are getting on next month is May the 12th, a title defense of the IWGP US Championship. Jon Moxley will be defending the belt against Yuji fucking Nagata.
Holy shit. IWGP on American soil. That's happened before. IWGP on American soil defended in an American promotion. That's happened before. But in the Forbidden Door zone? In AEW? My God, sir.
On TNT with a wrestler who made his name in the West on TNT.
Holy shit. Tony Schiavone just going on like, I used to call his matches in WCW. This is a fucking...
This is a great get for AEW. I'm very excited for the match.
Holy shit. When they said, oh yeah, no, there's going to be more interworking with New Japan once the pandemic starts kind of being lifted, they weren't wrong. Holy shit.
They weren't fucking around, dude.
Dude, what if that around that same episode, fucking Bullet Club comes in and goes like, the fuck y'all doing, bitch?
Oh, ooh. Kenny and Eddie should win next week's match, the tag match. And like you said, or no, Kenny and fucking Mox. God damn it.
Yeah.
Or I'm tired. Mox and
Eddie.
Eddie should win the match. Pin Nakazawa. Kenny never tags in. Afterwards, they try and beat Kenny down, but can't catch him. And then on the following week, after Mox, because he probably will successfully defend the belt. After he wins, the Super Elite come out to beat him down. And the closing angle of Dynamite that week is Tama fucking Tonga coming out with the real Bullet Club.
It doesn't even have to be the entirety of the Bullet Club. Tama Tonga, Switchblade, and the other guy. I can't remember his name. Fale.
Tonga Loa should be there too.
Tonga Loa. There's just those four, like, OGs and the current, like, not figurehead, but, like, Switchblade's kind of like the Finn Balor, the AJ, the Kenny. He's the white boy. They're kind of cholesterol.
The sexy American.
No, he's New Zealand. He's a Kiwi.
The sexy foreigner.
Yeah. Sexy white boy. Oh, no, but this is just going to be great. It's going to be good. You get the main event this week. Sweet. Because right after that, we finally get the confrontation between Miro and Kip. because Kip's going like, oh man, I haven't been trying to avoid Miro. It's just timing's been bad. And he goes up into the locker room, and Miro's just standing there, hulking mass. And Kip just comes up and goes like, hey, Miro, you wanted to talk to me? And Miro just looks at him and goes like, yeah. And just beats him for like 5 minutes. Just throws him against everything.
Shoves him into every fucking locker in the locker room like a nerd.
And then puts his arm in a door and says like, I can't remember exactly what he was talking about, but it was just like essentially like you made me do this. Why didn't you come talk to me? Very, very angry. I'm here to win championships. What are you doing distracting me like this? What are you doing?
And then like he gets him in a fucking sleeper choke.
He closes the door on his arm, like trying to break it.
Mm-hmm. And he gets him in a sleeper choke, and he gets right up in his face, and he goes, "It's okay. I forgive you." And just walks away.
Not even that, like he does a sleeper hold for a minute, and then he just grabs his head like he's hugging it, like he's basically, I'm sorry I had to do this. I had to do it though. God damn. I love
Such
Psychopath Miro.
work.
I love Psychopath Miro.
Mm-hmm.
It's not exact, but you know, this gave me like shades of Granny Goodness.
Ooh. Ooh, yeah.
Especially Granny Goodness and Tom King's Mr. Miracle.
Mm-hmm. Man, we've never talked about that book. We should do that sometime.
We should one day.
You know what? I'm going to pitch an idea because nobody listens to this show. Next time we have an off period from the MCU, instead of a legacy era, let's do a distinguished era.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be cool. You know what we could do then? What if Stan Lee wrote the DC universe?
That is definitely an option that would be available to us. But anyways, in our main event, we have Darby Allin with Sting versus Preston Vance with the Dark Order for the TNT Championship. Oh my God, I love this match. This was one of the best main events Dynamite has had in a hot minute. Just like the way they open this with replaying a cut down version of the Road 2 segment of Vance going over like, yeah, I was kind of handpicked by Brody Lee to be his protege in the Dark Order. And I've now got a super close relationship with his son. And Darby and I have fought before I was in the Dark Order. This is kind of a big opportunity for me to bring the title home and really advance my career. No pun intended. I'm gonna have to get in there and give it my all. And then he fucking does. To the point where Darby almost starts cheating at one point. Like this was such a good match. The only thing it was missing, and it's perfectly understandable that it didn't happen because he probably just had a bad report card this week or something. But -1 was not there cheering him on at ringside.
Yeah. Yeah, but also it might have been good that he wasn't there because he didn't win, and that would have been really sad.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so good. It was so good. And then it was just choice. It was nice. Everybody played their part. Like, there were moments where, like, face versus face, people on the outside making sure nobody cheats. But, like, it's Sting in the Dark Order. They're just kind of, like, going, like, yeah, no, we just keeping an eye on our guy. It was fun. It was nice. I love
Sting just walking over to them at one point, and they're like, dude, we're fine. And he's like, yeah, fair enough.
I know. I'm just... It's not like I'm fucking Satan here. But Darby did kind of technically cheat to win.
Yeah. Because he starts tearing up for Vance's mask, and Vance gets all irritated, so he goes for a big move, and Darby rolls him up in a freaking crucifix grab the tights situation.
No.
What?
That's not how he won.
Well, tell me how he won, because I'm too tired.
Preston Vance had Darby Allin in a full Nelson, which is his finisher. A thrashing full Nelson.
That's right.
Darby's fading fast, and he climbs up the corner post, does a flip, and pins him with his weight as much as he can. but the far shoulder that Rick Knox couldn't see was up. But the
Mhm.
Dark Order could see it was up, and they were trying to point out his shoulders up. But Rick Knox, 1, 2, 3. Darby
And I
thought,
was, I was. It happened so fast. I was genuinely confused for a second when I heard the count, and I heard the announcers start to freak out because I was also watching this late at night. For a second there, I was like, "Holy shit! They put the title on Vince! They put the title on Vince!" Oh, oh, no!
yeah,
But that's my own stupidity there.
yeah. But Preston Vance was like, you know what? I lost. Let me be sportsman with Darby because I just beat his fucking ass. And Darby gets up and he just grabs Preston's hand because on Preston's arm was basically a band. He pulls it off. It says Brody on it. Holds it up like a title.
Mhm.
Basically, this was for you, Brody.
Yeah, they shake hands, all about sportsmanship. Then Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky come out to attack them because those guys are still after the TNT title. Lance Archer shows up and Preston, and then they beat them all up, chase them off. Maybe setting up a tag match in a couple weeks. I don't know where that's going anymore.
Yeah,
It's fine.
it's fine.
It was good. It was a good ending to Dynamite. They utilized their roster really well this week.
Yeah, yeah. Um, there's something I also realized while watching this match is like I'm not wanting every favorite wrestler to get the belt, and I realize why. In WWE, the only people who are taken seriously are the ones who have the belt, and it's not always a guarantee. If you're on the mid card, you're not taken seriously. You're not treated with respect. And I was going like, I really like Preston Vance. I really like Darby Allin. I don't want them to have the main title. And I realize it's because I actually like what they're doing. They're respected in what they're like being in a mid card role. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like I don't want them to have to. I don't want them to have the title just to be respected. I'm happy where they're at right now.
Yeah,
Would I love to see them there one day? Yes, but right now, no, we're good.
I mean, like, John Silver and Alex Reynolds should probably be tag champions at some point.
Oh, very much so. So same with
But it
Uno and
doesn't
Grayson.
but it doesn't need to be next week.
Yeah, but that was wrestling this week. So, V Dog, what did you think of wrestling?
Uh it was fairly good.
That's good.
I liked it. Still not the best thing ever. Still a little down. We're still waiting for that blood and guts high, but it's coming.
Yep.
I obviously had a few complaining points that I went over. Some of them you solved, some of them you didn't. And yeah, wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling was good. I think it was a solid 4 out of 5 this week.
Defo.
I mean, in a general sense, Dynamite especially, but in a general sense, wrestling this week was pretty solid. So, Dog, why don't you tell the people where they can find you while you push through a headache?
Well, let's see if I can do this because this is the most out of it I've been on a fucking modular show since that time. Since that time I was drunk on a modular show.
Do it.
The last time I was drunk.
I believe in you.
Y'all remember when I passed out on this show before it was live?
Remember when he passed out on one of my live streams on Twitch? You fell asleep in that chair, I guarantee.
YouTube.com/the vacuuminator. TheVacuuminator. Goodbye.
Alrighty. I'm just gonna leave it up like this because I think it's gonna be funny. Hey, howdy, I'm Chris Boing, writer Gaston. You can find me on YouTube. I do video essay and editorial type content on the platform. You can find me there. Just search Boingo Writer. You can find me on Twitter at Boingo_Writer. You can find me on Instagram at Boingo_Writer. As always, you can find me in my Discord server. A link to that is in the description. But this has been MMWP. Hope you liked This Week in Wrestling, because we sure did. And until next week, stay wrestling.